I don't want you to speculate. I want you to just say what I observed. This is what it looked like to me. So, and because that's your observation, it may well be wrong. It may well be inconsistent with what actually happened. But from your observation, did it look like the door was opened because there was grinding that resulted in the door being opened? Just your observation, because you are an investigator of many years, 38 years as a policeman, just looking at it, what did it look like to you?
Commissioner, I could not believe what I saw there.
Can you answer it in the positive, not in the negative, please?
No, what I saw, I could not believe it, but hence I don't have anything to back me up. I'm unable to confirm with you, Commissioner.
Yes, but you're saying you can't back it up because you don't have an expert report.
Yes.
I'm not asking
I don't know. Maybe the investigators do have it, because in the DPCI also we work on the need to know basis.
Brigadier, in the interest of time, just focus only on what you observed.
Okay.
Not what the experts would say if they had the opportunity to give evidence. I mean, we've heard stories of people coming in here and say, I mean, looking at that chair, it looks to me like somebody used a knife to cut it. That's not normal wear and tear. Now you're making an observation as a human being. That's the sort of information I'm expecting from you to say, when I got there and I saw this door, this was my observation.
But also, Brigadier, you don't comment as a normal human being that I am. You are an experienced detective whose job is to interrogate things that I see at face value when I arrive, and I see things. You have better insight from your training and experience, so you're being asked to comment with that in mind, that you're an experienced and quite seriously experienced detective. When you see that scene, what do you think? I know you say you're skeptical, but Commissioner Kumala is asking you to speak more positively. What do you think when you get there, when you look at that scene?
Maybe a bit of both.
Explain?
The staging might have been there. Also, if the mechanical, if they had the expert to breach the locking mechanical, could have also been positive that they were able to open. But to me, I still don't believe. I'm unable to answer this question, Commissioners, if you may pardon me on this.
Okay.
I noticed that you are reluctant to deal with the issue of the key because you are scared that if you respond to Commissioner Baloy's question, it will create the impression that General Senona either opened the safe or gave somebody the key to open the safe. But there's another possibility here. With that key going up and down from Durban to Port Shepstone, it's possible that a junior officer could have created another duplicate, and that other duplicate could have been used. So don't discount the possibility that somebody actually did open the safe and the grinding happened as you suspect, simply to stage the scene. Because you seem to be reluctant to associate General Senona.
No, I'm not reluctant. It's just that if I don't have evidence, I can't say something and say, I don't want to say it's him. I'm saying, but what I saw and what I know from the landlord, I was a bit hesitant as to what exactly transpired.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brigadier, just to say that you must have entertained the possibility that the scene was staged then and there when you were at the scene, because you can't have it both ways. You couldn't have relied on the safe being impenetrable in order to suggest it as the place where the drugs should be kept because you considered it to be that safe. But then when it is breached and you see it being breached without the key, not for a second think that this scene is staged. It must have crossed your mind. Correct?
I hear you, Commissioner.
There's hearing and then there's saying if I'm correct or not.
Commissioners, please pardon me on this one.
Okay.
Dear, do you have an idea where the door is today?
Excuse me, Commissioner?
The door, the safe door. Do you have an idea whether it has been kept because the investigation is still ongoing or it's been disposed of?
You know, I don't know exactly. I was so distant from this investigation. I really don't know what happened to the door.
Can I say that I have the discomfort that on something so serious where you must appreciate because of the way in which it played and your role in the way it played out, that you must appreciate that you would be one of the people that are maybe considered suspects, as in what was his role, questions being asked about your own involvement in this. And the concern is, notwithstanding that, you seem to have played an arm's length role, or assumed an arm's length role to how things played out, even after the theft, that you don't know what happened, and there's a lot of I don't know. And when you ask the question about why did you not mention your suspicion or your skepticism in the investigation, you did not mention it. It creates a disquiet about it, that on something so serious, someone so senior is content, is testifying to say, well, I once the stuff was stolen, I left it to others and had nothing more to do with it.
Yes, I do understand.
You understand that concern?
Yes, I do understand.
Okay, thank you.
But I was not.
Were you afraid of General Senona, that you were not direct and voiced your suspicion, and scared of him because you knew that the keys, except for the times that someone else would take them for a while, the keys were otherwise always with him? Were you scared of him to voice your suspicion, or for not voicing your suspicion?
Commissioners, it was very difficult for me.
Were you scared of him?
If I say this, then people will say I'm suspecting someone, then my life is in danger. Where do I put myself as a...
So your mind, I'm not sure what to make of that. So did the thought ever cross your mind, or the thought never crossed your mind? I'm not saying you suspected him. There's a difference between suspecting him and merely saying. But the owner said, this cannot be breached without a key.
Yeah.
I mean, also bear in mind that it's not as if 100% of the time the key was always with General Senona. It would be with other people, and apparently for fairly long periods of time. In the sense, for example, if you go there to properly bag exhibits, that is, place them in bags, you are going to be there for a while. And if you go there to take samples, maybe it won't be as long as when you go there to bag the exhibits. But still, there were times when other people would have the keys for some time. So it would not necessarily be that you are suspecting General Senona. Do you get what I mean?
I do understand you, Commissioner.
So your point about, if you were to raise the suspicion, you would automatically be making General Senona a suspect is not necessarily true. So that takes me back again to my question. Was your failure to mention your suspicion or skepticism because of your fear of General Senona, purely because he also handled the key? That does not automatically translate to him being the suspect, no. But was it because you feared him? Because of your knowledge of the fact that he kept the key?
I think, Commissioners, I should have mentioned this.
We know that. We know you didn't. And,
Yes, I didn't.
and perhaps you should have. But I'm interested to know what it is that made you not to mention it.
I said to the Commissioners that when I got there, from what I've been told and what now I see, I didn't know whether I had the right information or not.
What did you not know exactly? That is, what information might possibly not have been right information? Is it the lessor's information?
Information that the safe could not be accessed without.
So you started doubting that?
Doubting.
Why are you mentioning that so late in the day?
No, but I think I said that earlier on, that even, I think it's Commissioner Kumali, he asked me where I was. I did mention that.
Oh, okay, all right.